What up, jerk faces? We are back. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but when you run, duck operation, things tend to, break down from time to time.
It happens.
It happens.
We just need a new duct tape.
And we just need new duct tape, is all. But anyways,
Well, before I was so rudely interrupted by technology. Yes.
yes. Robert, continue your story. So you found
So, anyways, so
your wallet somehow grew legs and found back to you. Oh, jeez.
yeah, so what my maybe and put it in the mail, and it got mailed back to me, and so I think I still don't have access to my money because I canceled my bank card, but the
Uh,
fact that I don't have to go through and get all my ID again, all that stuff
uh,
is makes me feel a lot better. So this week is started out a lot better.
okay. And you don't have to spend money. At least you don't have to spend money on getting a new wallet.
That too. I don't have to buy a new wallet, although I probably should anyways, just because it is starting to get a little ratty.
Right.
But
Uh huh.
how about you, Andy? What was your week like?
My weekend was pretty chill. As you know, we did film for the main show. And that was pretty cool. Yeah, I really enjoyed our guest. Very interesting guy. I we'll have to say. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely afterwards.
Yeah, a little bit on the eccentric side, but yeah, he's a nice guy. Nice guy. And yeah, I can't wait for the rest of you jerk faces to check out that episode. But for me,
It'll
actually,
be a good one.
yeah. But on Sunday, actually, my church, we had one of the, we kind of had a activity um, planned for that Sunday, and we actually played kickball.
You play ball, really? Cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I played that since elementary school.
What was it?
I don't think I played that since elementary school.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a lot different when you play as an adult. You're a little bit more coordinated. You're a little more fat. You're a little faster, or faster response time. So it was very different. It was very different. And yeah, I think I aggravated my Achilles because the following day, it was feeling a little stiff.
Yeah, I've noticed sometimes if I do activities I haven't done in a while, it works out muscles I haven't used in a while, and oof, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. And then afterwards we all, or at least like whoever was left, which was about 20 people, including little kids. We all headed out to Yard House and had dinner together. It was nice. I don't think our church is it has gone out to have dinner with that many people in a long time. So that was and it's a pain in the butt for sure. We did feel bad for the wait staff, but it was nice, having that long table and just everyone having a good time with each other.
Yeah, no, that's always awesome, and I mean that's essentially what church is about. Like, it's not only worshiping, but enjoying a meal together, each company, which is great.
Hmm. absolutely. But yeah. In new car news, it looked like I might be able to get my car sooner than I had imagined, and so
All right.
yeah. I just need to I take care of one last. Well, not one last, but I need to take care of. I need to finish paying off one last credit card, and then I can go and I guess I can go and start. Or then I could at least begin the negotiation process with the seller.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
Yeah. Um, I think I have narrowed down my prospects to two cars. One, still being the Ford Explorer, and the other one being kind of a out of left field pick, but the new Kia Telluride.
Really?
Yeah.
That's I wouldn't have thought you'd go for that.
Neither did I, and I mean, I did look, I did see it in my research, but I didn't give it much thought. But my dad was the one who made the suggestion. 'Cause I guess he was like, he saw it and he's been hearing about it, and he's like, "Oh, why don't we get this car?" Or, "Why don't you get this car?" And so, it might be worth it just because, because this is the first year that they're offering it, and it's kind of like a more. I wouldn't say like I wouldn't call it like Kia's luxury SUV, but it does. There are some like premium features that come with this car, and like I can, in terms of comparing it to the Explorer, the highest trim level for the Telluride is about the same price as the Sport trim in the Explorer, which is just one trim level down from the Platinum, which is Ford's highest trim level for the Explorer.
I see. I see.
Yeah,
So that's not too bad.
yeah. I mean, it did. I mean, admittedly, looking at the numbers, just comparing it, it does have. It's funny because the Telluride has a bigger engine, but it has less ponies.
That's odd.
Because the even like the 2019 Ford Explorer has like 350, 360 horses, while the Telluride has like 290, 291. But it's like a bigger engine. It's like the Telluride is 3.8 liter V6 to the Ford's 3.5 liter V6.
Hmm. Well, that'll be. I'm definitely curious to see which one you end up choosing.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, I'd prefer you get the Ford because buying American. But
Well, I mean, because that's one of the points that points me in the direction of the Ford, because for insurance purposes, if you get an American, you actually get you actually have to you actually pay less in insurance
yeah,
in a
I
foreign
I
car.
found that out too. That which is always
I
nice.
mean, I know I've always known that, but when I got my current car, I just wanted I just wanted a sleek looking two door, and I didn't really give it much thought. Uh, but I mean, it's lasted me. I mean, the car was like 5 years old when I got it, and it lasted me personally for 15 years. But even though the car itself is 20 years old.
Yeah. No. Hey, that's. That's always a good thing.
Yeah. So.
I'm thinking like if next time I get a car, I actually am looking at a Buick.
Buick.
Uh, they came out with the new Buick Station. I've sat in it. I like the.
Okay, now we're back. Jesus Christ. And it's Facebook. It's YouTube. They're they're down on us. They're throttling us. And all I have to say is, how dare they throttle a cripple?
So yeah, yeah, I know. What happened to your cripple privilege? Why
Dude, oh my god, it's like so bad. The stream keeps like cutting in and out.
I don't. Well, should we keep the slug forward, or like what do you want to do?
Let's just try to get through as much as we can.
Can we start with the movie review then first? At least we'll get that.
What was it?
Should we try to at least do the movie review? Get to that because those other news stories they'll still be there.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's just. Yeah. This is like ridiculous. All right. So. As y'all know, we do themes here for the movie reviews, and this month was Kevin Conroy Batman. If you don't know, Kevin Conroy is, I mean, at least to me and Robert, the voice of Batman. Whenever we read
100%.
comics or something that's supposed to be in Batman's voice, Kevin Conroy is who we imagine in our minds. Because he is the definitive voice of Batman, in my opinion, and I think I can speak for Rob and say that he agrees.
Yep, I agree.
Yes. So yes, the last Batman movie for this month is a little bit out of left field because the Bruce Wayne Batman is not the star. He's actually a supporting character, and this movie is Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. Just a quick little synopsis of the film. In Gotham City in the future, old Bruce Wayne trains, his latest protege, Terry McGinnis, to be Batman to replace him. All the while, Joker, who hasn't been heard from or seen in a great many years, shows up and utilizes the street gang that has taken on his persona, and they go by the Jokers. Um, and then they steal all this, and they're stealing like all this high tech equipment, and it's kind of it's actually a true mystery in that you don't know who this Joker is or if he's actually the Joker because he looks exactly the same as when Bruce Wayne was in the cape and cowl. And so, and maybe one of the greatest, twists in movie history is in this movie, where it turns out that the Joker in this, in the future, turns out to be someone very close to Bruce.
Right, and they dive into the story of what actually happened, which is, and then we get the final reveal at the end of like what who it who that Joker actually was,
Mm-hmm.
and it's pretty. I don't know. That movie, like, because I've seen it several times now,
Mm-hmm.
and honestly, I'm always on the edge of my seat. I really love um, this particular one, and I'm a huge fan of Batman Beyond. I have even when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
I like I like the Rogues Gallery that it has because it has its own unique one,
Right.
but it also has like a night. It does kind of it plays off of some of the old Rogues Gallery, like we talked about. You have the Joker Gang. You have you do have a version of the Royal Flush Gang in that time period, um, and
Yeah, and it's
the
like
fact that
not many people know about the Royal Flush Gang, but they're pretty unique. They're a pretty unique, foil for Batman. But I think it's. I think it makes more sense for them to appear, as villains for future Batman than past Batman, just because like one of the big features about them is they have these hover playing cards that they use to get around in, and that'd be kind of hard to the technology would be kind of hard to create in, I guess, back then when it was the animated series
right.
years, or when it was still Bruce Wayne. Even though they're coming up with a lot of fantastical inventions, I think anti gravity playing cards would be quite the feat to accomplish.
Now I might be drawing a blank because they never officially address the time frame between Batman the Animated Series and Batman Beyond. I'm assuming what it's like 40 years or something like that. Like
Well, in the television show of Batman Beyond, the what is it? What is it? I think the official time frame is like 2009 is when the whole incident with him and like being old, and I think it was like 2012. Hold on, let me look this up real fast for the audience.
yeah, but yeah, I just but I'll say it's like yeah, I like the guy that play, Terry McGinnis is voiced by Will Friedle. You might know him as the oldest brother on Boy Meets World.
Mm-hmm.
He's also done voice acting for a bunch of stuff. A great voice actor. Really, he does quite a bit. But the character of
Oh,
Terry
wow.
McGinnis is kind of like this. I think is a great new Batman because he does while he's still kind of a young guy. He like Bruce Wayne has gone through a lot of tragedy, and so there is this darkness to him, and that a guy who seeks out justice as Bruce Wayne does. So I'll be honest, I actually might like Batman Beyond almost as much, if not more, than the animated series
Really?
because we get not only do we get Bruce Wayne and his gritty, like kind of
Tanker
his
self, yeah.
surly self, but we because the nice Bruce Wayne is completely gone. The Bruce Wayne that we see there is Batman. It's and he's pretty much he's all alone. He's surly. He's essentially he has formed himself into Batman. Well, although he no longer dons the costume. But then you also get Terry McGinnis, who is kind of that new like when he's Terry McGinnis, he's kind of just his young fun self. But when he puts on the costume, he's Batman. He or this new Batman. So you kind of get the best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And because Terry McGinnis also, not only is he essentially Alfred, but he's also Batman at the same time.
Right. Yeah. I think there was there's that great line in when in the Batman Batman Beyond TV show where Talia al Ghul comes and offers Bruce a second chance at life, and they're on their way to the island where the Lazarus Pit is, and Terry says, I'm not putting I'm not wearing the Robin costume.
Yeah, yes, I forgot about that. That's right.
Yeah, so yeah, and I think I think this is a great example of how to honor like the source material, but still create something new and original. Something that I think a lot of uh, creatives are afraid to do these days when trying to adapt, source material and try to create something new.
I would
Um,
say, and well, Batman Beyond, the show, because it initially was just a show. It was just a show, but it was so popular that they ended up creating a whole series of Batman Beyond comics. So that tells you what a great job that they did in creating this
mhm,
new series.
right. Just to answer the question real fast. Yeah, the interestingly enough, Batman Beyond story begins in 2019.
Wow, that
Or
well,
like,
isn't
or at
that
least that's the last time that Bruce Wayne is Batman.
wow? That's how ironic is that? Like I had no idea that like it kind of just played out. It's like, all right, well we're talking about what's going on today. Bruce Wayne is an old man.
It's the future. It's the future. We're in the future.
Yeah. Where's the hovering playing cards and the
The flying
Batmobile and
cars
stuff?
and the 7-course meal in a single pill. Where's all that?
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's sure. Yeah, it really is. Um, but this movie was really great. I'm a big fan of animation. Uh, and it does borrow from the aesthetic of the not the original animated series, like the one that was produced by Fox, but the middle one where WB took over, and then which led also into Justice League, and so it was a nice kind of
Right.
return to that style of animation, and yeah, the story was just really good because it dealt with like these these traumas from the past, and the seemingly invincible Joker. Because in the animated series, there was always this thing of how like the Joker always in certain episodes it always seems like the Joker dies, but he inevitably comes back.
Right. Right.
And so I thought this was like a great little nod to uh, that kind of like insider information for anyone who's been following Batman in like the animated universe, especially with the Joker, because like yeah, there's like this one where he was at the aquarium and the Joker like falls into the water. Just before as he's delivering like this kind of zinger one liner, all of a sudden like he's falling, and then there's a shark that jumps out and like seemingly eats the Joker. But he's back again in another in another episode down the line. And
Yeah. So yeah. I think what's great about this particular movie is we kind of see how um, it's possible that this story, like, because Terry McGinnis, he the Joker, he sees that the Joker's returned, and the Joker is trying to steal, like, the using the Joker gang to steal this kind of futuristic technology to do something. And that's kind of the mystery. We're trying to figure out what's going on, what they're trying to do, and from that, you kind of because Terry McGinnis as Batman is trying to go and figure out what exactly is going on, but in that investigation, he knows Bruce isn't talking to him about like what happened, and he also tries to go to Barbara Gordon, who we know as Batgirl, and she initially doesn't want to talk to him about it, but after Bruce is attacked by the Joker, uh, it becomes necessary to like kind of tell the story. And what we come to find out is that this is with time with her, Batman, and Tim Drake as Robin. They were going after the Joker and Harley Quinn back in the day, and Tim Drake was actually kidnapped by the Joker and subject to torture. And through that, the Joker was able to figure out Batman's identity and turn Tim Drake into a mini Joker, if you will. And after that experience, because what Bruce thought is because he ended up having to kill the Joker, and or so
Well,
he
actually,
thought.
yeah. I mean,
And
technically, it wasn't. Batman didn't kill Joker. It was like the insane, tortured, Tim Drake.
oh, it was
He was
Tim Drake that was like
yeah.
that killed
The
him.
Joker put him in the position to kill Batman, but instead, kills the Joker. Kind of in like
Right,
this very tragic, heartbreaking scene where the Joker gives. It's funny because like that's the gun that uh, the Joker uses in the beginning of the movie to kill one of the Joker's minion characters.
right,
But yeah, the Joker tosses him this toy gun that shoots that when you pull the trigger, a flag comes out that does bang. But then the I guess the secondary joke to that is you pull the trigger again and the little flagpole shoots out and impaling the victim. And so the Joker tosses it to the tortured insane Tim Drake Robin, and he tells him to shoot to shoot Batman, and being faced with that situation, he musters the very last bit of his will, and he kills the Joker. And I thought that was just like heartbreakingly tragic, because even because like the Joker kind of goes through almost like these sick kind of home movies of him torturing Robin, saying like, oh,
right.
kind of mocking Batman, saying like, oh, you would have been so proud, to see him being so strong, but he eventually, but also by mocking him, saying like, but he eventually gave in and told me all sorts of secrets, and so kind of taunting Batman, uh, to try and get him riled up to the point of where he might actually murder the Joker. And so yeah, it was
Yeah,
just I think that was such a great scene, and animation is so underrated, but you can tell just as complex or just as tragic a story in animation form as you can in live action.
I think so too. And this movie. I think, well, in all the movies that we've seen in this month,
Mm-hmm.
I think definitely speak to that. The
Mm-hmm.
stories are all very rich, and the animation itself even tells a story. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because you feel like all the blows and the emotion that's involved with these characters.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, obviously we have such a fantastic voice acting staff that works that is on these films and shows, and it just They all are just spectacular.
Mm, absolutely. Yeah, but I think the greatest twist of this movie is that um, it turns out that Tim Drake, old man Tim Drake, turns out to be this new Joker, um, and it was all due to I guess like while the Joker was torturing him, he had implanted him with this technology that he somehow was digitized his DNA onto this microchip and then implanted it on Tim Drake, and slowly but surely it was starting to take over his his mind, his body, and Tim just and Tim Drake just kind of shook it off as kind of like PTSD or bad dreams. But
Right.
it was really just Joker, the digitized version of the Joker, slowly and methodically taking over Tim Drake's body.
Yeah, that was the and so technically what we saw was the real Joker. It was him utilizing the body of Tim Drake. And so yes, while the original Joker is dead, he's
Mm-hmm.
still alive, which
Right.
is kind of
Yeah, kind of
and you know
his legacy, his ghost. I dare say his spirit, kind of reincarnated.
right. And well, and the scary thought is um yeah, he did it to Tim Drake, who is arguably one of the people that Batman was the closest to. But who knows how many of those that he put on people?
Right? Who knows?
That
Like who? Yeah, who's to say that there's an entire city full of jokers just waiting to emerge from unsuspecting victims. But I
right?
think yeah, but I think that's what makes it like so amazing, because like it couldn't, yeah, because like it couldn't just have been Tim Drake. He might, who knows? It could have been a bunch of people, and maybe some, the technology didn't necessarily take. But even if he did it to like 10 people, and and out of the 10, only five took, then that's five more Jokers out there somewhere.
Yeah, and because when the other thing too is like when Batman Beyond starts, Batman's pretty much completely alone. There, obviously Alfred is long gone.
Mm-hmm.
There's no Robin.
Yeah.
Uh, Batgirl essentially is she's the new Commissioner Gordon,
Mm-hmm.
and so uh, Bruce has a dog, Ace, but that's essentially it. And we were wondering, it's like, well, where did everyone else go? And the first idea is, oh, it's just because it's several decades in the future. But I think by watching this movie, we see that this story, this is the incident that changed Batman to like kind of completely just shut everyone else out,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, I
that
think
no
what
one.
was it? There was an episode where Terry McGinnis and old Barbara Gordon go and have a conversation, and Barbara even tried to get Bruce to kind of stop being, or give up being Batman, but but Bruce was too driven by his mission, which kind of goes to what we saw in Mask of the Phantasm, where he was kind of having that kind of crisis, when he fell in love with Andrea Beaumont, and he was like
Right.
trying to, I mean, he's at his parents' grave, and he was trying to negotiate with them. It's like, yeah, I know I promised, I made that promise to you guys, but when I'm with her, it doesn't hurt as bad, and so it, but you know I think we mentioned it in that episode. If circumstances didn't go the way they did, Bruce Wayne might not have become Batman.
Yeah.
And so
That's
yeah,
the
but then I think because of his past experience, because Andrea Beaumont left him, I think it just you know it just put the it just it expanded the darkness in his heart. Um, Not that he's gonna be evil, but he's like, I can't allow, the mission is too important. I can't allow even my own happiness get in the way of this mission. And and I think that's ultimately what happens to Bruce Wayne Batman. Uh, he's just consumed by the mission, and I think it goes to show because when Batman Beyond begins, it's kind of like it's still kind of in the past. It's now actually 2019, and Bruce Wayne is an old man. He's wearing the bat suit that Terry McGinnis wears, and that bat suit is augmented with all sorts of things. Because he's Bruce Wayne has gotten so old that he put like servo motors into like help him with his strength, and rocket boots and but not binoculars built into like the mask, and so it's all things to augment his old age. But it's also because he can't let go, and that's what and again I reiterate, but that's what drove everyone away because his his fervent devotion to his mission.
Yeah, and in a way, he ends up in that he when Terry ends up taking on the role as Batman, Bruce Wayne ends up kind of becoming the character Oracle in a lot of ways because he's the one that's kind of guiding Terry as Batman,
Right.
using his experience and see because he's able to see what Terry sees. So it's kind of like he's able to kind of help him out in that
Yeah, and
way.
Bruce in this is very much the mentor figure. Your Obi-Wan Kenobis, your Qui-Gon Jinns, your um, or as you were saying, kind of like the guy in the chair. Spider-Man: Homecoming. I can be your guy in the chair. Yeah, Bruce was the guy in the chair for Terry, and so and
It's like I said, that's why Batman Beyond as a whole is I think it's great. It's complex. It's exciting. The characters are engaging. And then this movie was not only do you get like the mystery involved, but there's a lot of great ass kicking action, and there in typical Batman fashion, there's a lot of tragedy in it too.
mhm. Absolutely, I think yeah, it definitely falls within the tradition of Batman and tragedy. Particularly tragedy at the hands of, arguably Batman's greatest foe.
Yeah,
Well, it turns out it seems the internet connection, or because we diverted into talking about Batman, YouTube has decided not to throttle us. So we're operating back at normal, a bit normal speed.
efficiency.
Yeah. So I don't know. We could. I mean, yeah. I didn't expect us to be able to I didn't expect us to be back on track, but we are.
Well, let's give our rating.
Yeah, so let's go. Yeah, let's give our ratings. I'm gonna give this 4.5.
Oh man, yeah, then we're thinking exactly alike because that's what I was going to be giving it too.
Yeah, easily four and a half, 4.5. 4.5.
Of the Batman films that we've watched this month, this one is my favorite.
Mm, okay.
Yeah, I love it. and like I said, this is probably about like the third or fourth time I've seen it, and I like it just as much as I did the first time.
Agreed. I just like I love the little Easter egg at the end. Because when Barbara was retelling the story of the night that the Joker died, everyone assumed that Harley Quinn had died. But at the end, when those twin girl Joker gang members got bailed out by their grandmother turned out to be none other than Harley Quinn.
Yeah, that I thought that was kind of like a nice little like Easter egg too, and so it's kind of like it makes me wonder. It's like who the heck did Harley Quinn like get with to like where she
Right,
had
and also it raises the question: did that because in the movie, Harley Quinn and Batgirl are fighting, and they're fighting in the old Arkham Asylum, which was half kind of demolished. So they're not fighting on like solid ground, and so there's like this point where Harley Quinn's bazooka goes off and like destroys, blows up the ground that they're standing on, and they're falling down, and Batgirl is able to grab onto part of the building, and she has Harley, but she's grabbing her by what is it like her wrist, but by like the
the
flare,
glove.
yeah, like from the like little sleeve, the puffs on her sleeve, and Batgirl's trying to raise Harley Quinn's arm up so to the ledge so that she can hold on, but then the sleeve rips and then she falls seemingly to her doom. But yeah, you gotta wonder is like, did that fall drive her sane? Did that maybe she landed on her head and and it made her sane, which allowed her
That's a yeah.
to go on with her life and and marry a good man and have children and have grandchildren apparently.
Yeah, that's actually that's a interesting thought too. I would like to. I think it gives us a lot of like interesting speculation as to what might may have happened to Harley Quinn. Um, and well, because we do get like a little bit of idea into some of the original Batman's Rogues Gallery. Because in Batman Beyond, uh, they because they have this drug that's like they're called like slappers or whatever,
Yeah.
and it turns out that it was uh, Bruce thought it was Bane that was the one that might have been like producing it, and they end up like finding that all the years of the venom that he would put into his body had just demolished him.
Yeah, erect him.
But it was like the same kind of technology of like what made Bane
Right.
so
Yeah. It was still.
strong.
It was still the super steroid, and and it turned out it was the nurse that was looking after Bane that was the one who was you know selling it and on the street and things like that. But yeah, like all of the kind of nods to like yeah, like the past villains, like you said, like the Joker gang, or this new kind of Bane, or kind of interesting little twists. Like there was Spellbound. There was the villain Spellbound, and he was kind of a remix of Mad Hatter because he would kind of brainwash people or make them do things against kind of against their will.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so yeah, very imaginative rogues gallery that Batman Beyond had. And so yeah, but anyways, that is our review. We definitely encourage this movie. Both Rob and I give this a 4.5 out of 5. Go watch it. See for yourself. Tell us what you think. All right.
Definitely.
We're kind of doing this out of order, but we didn't expect technical difficulties this stream, but here we are. And so yeah, let's get into the news topics that we have. I mean, I don't know about you, but maybe we shouldn't press our luck and just stick to the ones that we have announced.
Yeah, that'll work for me.
Yeah. Okay. So you want to do debt or do you want to do Omar?
Well, let's start with our favorite, one of our favorite congresswomen, Ilhan Omar.
All right. All right. Why don't you lead off with this one?
So there, we all know Ilhan Omar, who has said a lot of very, uh, at best, controversial things, but I would say pretty evil type of things. Considering all her anti-Semitism, her essentially pro-terrorist uh, ties, and just
Yeah, that's fair.
straight up, yeah, kind of like a lot of lies that she promotes. But there's always kind of been this slight rumor that she may have that, like, oh, she married her brother, or that like, she committed immigration fraud. And for a long time, it was mainly just speculation. It was a they were all like it was an estimated guess. It wasn't just out of nowhere. But yeah, of course, the left and everyone kind of came to her defense and denied it. But the what it comes out as, what it turned out to be, was that story might actually be true. That she did end up marrying her brother to essentially commit immigration fraud to become an American. I think she's an American citizen now. Obviously, if she's in Congress, I would think. Um,
Right.
and yeah, that's kind of a. So all the speculation that we all thought of is like, well, you know what? Yeah, it is. It looks like it might be true. Because there's a lot of the timeline and everything that she's said that's on record seems very, very questionable. And it, yeah, I'm fairly convinced that, yeah, she probably committed immigration fraud to get here, which I don't know if there is anything that we uh, legally, if there's like, if she ends up like, if she could face prison time, if there's solid evidence for
Mm-hmm.
that. Um, or at the very least, like, I don't think she deserves to be a congressperson, and I wonder if the people in her district might vote her out of office, uh, and kind of let that happen.
I mean, well, I think that's a little optimistic since it was the people in our district that did vote her in.
Yeah, true, but but the fact that like she lied so outright, essentially, like, I'm wondering if was it like that she was just trying to get to America any way possible, or was this always kind of like her plan, is to do this so that she could become to try to essentially hijack in some way our government. I don't know. That's the thing, is like, I'm pretty sure that, like, if people felt like that's the case, that her sole goal was to come and become a member of our government.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a scary thought. That's just my, I don't know if that's the case, but I would think if that's what the people in her district might believe, I would hope that they would vote her out of office in the next, whatever the next election is for her district. And
Yeah.
it kind of like AOC is like, she even in her damn district, doing anything. Because I know AOC has been to her district once, maybe.
I mean, wait, since she's been elected, or
since she's been elected. Like
Okay.
AOC, like has not been in her district at all.
Hmm. Yeah. I don't know if I'm remembering this wrong, but I think I heard that they're trying to dissolve her district.
Oh, that's also a possibility from what I heard too. It's like, well, it's I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, but I mean, when you have, going back to Omar, when you have a candidate who, you know, who rightly or wrongly calls out the Jews and kind of makes apologies for you know, alleged terrorist linked Islamic groups, CARE and the Muslim Brotherhood. You kind of have to wonder what her intentions really are. Is she just someone who just really wanted to come to America so badly that that she committed immigration fraud, or is it part of some more nefarious long term plan? Uh, I don't know, but I'll just say it's pretty damn icky from where I sit.
Yeah, the whole thing kind of stinks to high heaven. And I everything she's one of the most nasty people. Of all the fresh faces in Congress,
Mm-hmm.
her tone, uh, everything that kind of comes out of her mouth, like I don't think that person she has ever had a happy day in her life. To be honest, she's always seems like
But
she just has this vile attitude about
she
everything.
also talks as though like she talks with impunity, and I
Yeah,
mean if
yeah, that,
anything, like the recent uh, kerfluffle with when she made those comments about Israel, and the Democrats all just like jumped in front of that bullet and it's like, oh well, she just she has a different experience with words or with English. So you
oh
can't really,
god.
yeah, so you can't really take what she says at face value. It's like if she's intelligent enough to run and win the seat in Congress, then what the hell is she doing there? It's like if she is unfamiliar or unaccustomed with English words, the primary language in this country, then what is she doing sitting in Congress? What business does she
Right.
have? What business does she have being in Congress if she doesn't speak the primary language of the country or have a grasp of it?
Yeah, it's if that's the if what the left is saying, kind of to defend her, if that's true, it's like, well, then she also shouldn't be in Congress because she doesn't, like as you said, she doesn't know what she's if she doesn't know what she's really talking about, if she doesn't understand, certain concepts, then she shouldn't be running her a district. She shouldn't be in government.
Right. It's like
Um,
hiring a plumber who knows nothing about pipes or plumbing.
Yeah, it's like, oh well, it's like instead of pipes, they're using some other like equipment. It's like, oh well, I guess I just understand it differently. It's like, no,
Right.
it does
Yeah. It's just
it's
like no one would allow that to stand. You'd be that quote unquote plumber would be immediately fired. But for some reason, all every Democratic leader was jumped in front of that car for Omar. You know,
what are the odds you think she fucked her brother?
oh yeah, that was one of the more interesting questions brought up in our group chat. Yeah, whether or not her and her brother actually consummated, I don't know. Wait, like they have kids though, right?
Well, that's the thing is like with
Or is it just
the
like, is it like
whole
the brothers? Is it the brothers' kids from a previous marriage?
I don't know. That's the thing. The whole time frame is so the supposed marriage to her brother, I think it lasted a few years, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh well, we decided not to continue the relationship after I think like the statute of limitations or whatever like went through, and but who knows? Honestly, I'm giving it about 75% odds that they that they fucked each other.
Oh, that's a disgusting idea.
Well, the other thing too is there is incest. And this is similar in other like kind of closed off communities. Like it's in the Amish with the Amish, the
With the Jews.
high, like the super Orthodox Jews,
Hmm.
and with Islam is that incest is a real problem. You get like a lot of the blue blood, crazies that. And this happened back, with royal families and such too, back in the Middle Ages. So I think it's a strong possibility that they probably did it. They probably did that.
Mm. I don't know. It's all sorts of iffy.
That part is just speculation on my part. Maybe it's a little bit of not really liking that person. So
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, he's like, so you hate their guts, so you want it to be true.
part of me is like, I kind of hope that they find that that's true. I probably laugh. Not because
uh,
like I think it's like good, but I just because I think I would love to see how the left tries to spin that one.
True, right? It's like, yeah,
Because not only if like they
yeah,
find
you
out
fucked
that
your
the
brother.
immigration fraud is true, but if they find that like she ended up having sex with her brother and having children out of that, I want to see how the left spins that. I think it'd be fucking
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. Let's watch Nancy Pelosi walk in front of that bus.
Well, yeah, I mean they're already trying to make whatchamacallit, pedophilia normalized. Like, yeah, what about incest? I mean, it's
Dude, dude, they already are. They already are. They're doing it through porn because what was it? I heard like a couple of years ago, and I think I don't know about now, but a couple of years ago, the number one like search on porn sites was like like brother sister, or or
oh, dude, yeah, it's.
mother son, father daughter. So they're
I
you
think
know
it's
they're already
relates.
they're already trying to normalize it, and you could, and then you might say, oh no, that's like step sibling. It's like, really, it's like, don't try to split those hairs. Don't try to split those hairs.
Gross.
Yeah, but
Oh man. Well, this show's already demonetized. I already know that.
no, we're never gonna be monetized.
That oh,
We're never gonna be monetized.
probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why we have to that's why we have to try and get as many sponsors as possible.
True.
Yeah, because it doesn't. Yeah, because I think it really doesn't matter that I am a disabled, visible minority. It doesn't matter. They're never gonna allow us to get any money. YouTube is never gonna allow us to have any money.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm actually the wrong type of minority because I'm Asian. Because so
I
they,
wonder.
so they basically see me the same as you.
I'm wondering what you would have to be where you could just say whatever you want and it doesn't matter.
I mean, I would. I do say whatever I want, but it doesn't make me friends with people. At YouTube.
True. You don't make a lot of friends, do you, Andy?
I mean, now it's now that I see the world for as it is, not really. I mean, I can be
That's true.
friendly. I can be friendly, and I am who I am, and people will either will gravitate toward me or they won't. But I'm not gonna curb my speech, or I'll do the polite thing and not drop f bombs or whatever what have you, in front of people I just meet. But if they put out that energy first, then I'm just gonna open up on them. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, saying hi, like I'm Andrew. My preferred pronouns are nigger faggot,
Oh man,
right? And if you
that's
don't, then you're a racist. You're a racist bigot.
it's true.
Again, we're never gonna be monetized.
Nope.
But, it doesn't matter because we're having fun, right?
No, that's
Everyone, everyone
we're
who's everyone who's pre-approved is not having fun. They can never say the things that they can never say the things that we're saying right now because they're bought and paid.
yeah. No one's having more fun than us.
Yes.
So should we get on to our last topic before we call it a night?
Yeah, before they throttle us again, before YouTube throttles us again.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. So yeah, there it's been one of the few things that I actually might agree with Bernie Sanders, and that's student loan forgiveness. I think uh, I don't know if it was recent. Was it recently, or he's been saying this for a while? But like
Yeah.
I
He's
think it's
been.
like I think
Yeah.
it's he's making it one of the central things he's talking about for his campaign.
I don't know if it's a central point, but yeah, he's been talking about it for a while.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll be honest. I'm biased because yes, I do have student loan. I still have student loan debt, and yes, it's oppressively crushing my soul. But I'm still able to make payments, so and I'm still here. But it does limit your ability to own a home or start a family, and and the predatory practice of just indoctrinating kids uh, to making them think like, oh, you have to go to college to be a millionaire, or you have to go to college, or you're not going to have a good life, is morally detestable.
Yeah, I would. Well, because yeah, there's no other options. At least when you're at school are provided. Nothing. There's no which is kind of it's criminal because there's so many great options out there. Like in not that long ago, it was kind of the amount of people that actually went to college was fairly rare, and college was a hell of a lot more affordable as well. Um, Kind of the reason why, like I said, it is an issue. Yeah, I'll admit. Yeah, like the what colleges have done, what the education system has done is really awful. The reason I disagree with the idea of just um, wiping out the loans is because it doesn't. We need to find a way for there to be a to punish these college on a financial level, because if we just keep going down the same road, we keep forgiving debts, we keep doing all that stuff, the colleges have no incentive to change, and they can just charge whatever they want and do whatever they want. And the reality is, we either a couple of things. We need to stop, you telling 17, 18 year olds that you have to go to college right away. because a lot of them are going and they have no idea why they're going. We need to kind of put a puncture in these, as far as like the public universities, the breaking the teachers unions that kind of are essentially, and all these, creating this, um, what's the word I'm looking for? This den
Enjoying it.
of yeah, oh no, this den of deans of inclusion and assistant deputy deans and all this stuff. It's
All
like,
right, the
why are we
bloated
why are we
bureaucracy.
paying why are we paying these people six-figure salaries to do what? To
Yeah.
create these kangaroo courts and uh, kind of just teach us about lesbian dance theory.
Or underwater basket
It's
weaving.
ridiculous.
Don't forget underwater basket weaving.
Oh, of
That's
course.
crucial. That's crucial.
Now, I'm not saying that uh, like because there's a lot of like things that you study in college that aren't necessarily necessary for you, like history and English and all those things. Like it is, I'm not saying get rid of all that stuff entirely. That it should only be like career oriented. I think there is a good because I like all those things. I think those should be taught. But we need to do something that that punishes these universities financially. That if they don't make changes, that they're gone.
Mm.
Because I think what
Well, I think one of the
because
big things is
because
getting the government out of education, and because that's one of the big things because the government guarantees that they'll help you with the loans, and so the schools are then can go unchecked and say like that they go to the school and say, oh, how much is it? It's like, oh, well, it's $3,000. Like, oh, well, here's 100. It's like, here's $1,500. It's like, oh, did I say 3,000? I meant 5,000. It's like, oh, okay, well, here's 2,500. It's like, oh, did I say 5,000? I meant 800. 8,000. You know, it's like, oh, and it just keeps
right.
going on, and that's where where you get your bloated bureaucracies, because because the government is guaranteeing the loan, then there's no check on the school from upping its tuition. I remember when I was in a small art college, and every year I was there, the tuition increased by like 1 to 2%. And I was there for 3 years.
Yeesh.
And what was that?
No, yeah, I was a yeesh. That sucks.
Yeah, 1 to 2% every year, and and it ultimately went into funding like kind of like this kind of vanity beautification thing where they like built this they built out the campus. Basically they added like a new section because I think they want to consolidate, because my school they had a fashion branch, but it was off like in downtown, but I think they want to consolidate everybody, so they built a new fashion complex on the school, a new cafeteria, and also dorms. So that's where that's where a large I'm sure a large part of my tuition went towards something that like I would not have benefited from, because I was there for 3 years, and then and
Uh, oh,
they didn't finish like construction until like a few months after I had graduated.
right, and I think the other thing is the bigger the campus and everything, they get more funding from the government, so
Yeah,
that's why they end up.
yeah, and it's hilarious because I get the annual newsletter from my school like saying, oh, help donate to this education fund or whatever, to give underadvantaged students a chance to come to the school or whatever. It's like, bitch, I still have to pay off like $60,000 dollars on that I have left on my student loans. And like, you asking me for more money when I gave you money that I didn't even have in the first place.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like I said, I don't have a solution per se on this. I just know that I think the the student just outright paying off, the government paying off these loans, because there are people who haven't gone to college that are now having to pay other people's college off. Like that's to me that's criminal.
Right. Yeah. I mean, as much as again, I'm biased because I still have student loans, and as much as I would love for my student debt to be forgiven, I do realize that it would be on the backs of people who are making money, and that's not fair.
Yeah, and well,
So
and that's
on this issue, I'm very torn. I'm very torn because
no,
I
I
because
understand that.
yeah, and I think because no secret here, but you and I both enjoy Owen Benjamin, and recently he actually went on kind of like he had a podcast. And he was actually talking about student loan forgiveness,
I
and
did watch that.
he
Yeah,
does make a compelling argument. Although I do but again at what cost? It's like then we're putting that debt onto taxpayers.
right. And that's I think this is probably the one of the few times I probably disagreed with him. I like I said, I see what he's saying, and I agree that it does in some way. It is kind of creating somewhat of a indentured servitude kind of thing,
Mhm.
but my thing is that why should me, who I, because I have zero college debts or anything like that, or people uh, that have found a way to pay off their own, like they paid for their college themselves, or have never gone to college. Why should we have to cover people who wanted to take that? Why should we pay for their debts too? It's
Right.
like and like it's because the thing is like, yeah, oh, it's free tuition or it's paying off debts, and it's like, which is that money comes from somewhere, and this kind of Robin Hood mentality. um and I don't know, I'm just I don't think that that's right. The and I think and as I said earlier, I think that by just paying off the student loan debts, it doesn't give these colleges an incentive to change and get and to because there's an argument of like, is there anything that's salvageable from from college education? And there's some people's like, no, we need to tear the whole damn thing down and start over. And then there's other people that think it's like, yeah, that there is some sort of way to save education, but just for giving loans outright is, I don't think is the solution to that.
Right. I mean, for a while back, like you said, with abortion, having the abortion, takes the guy off the hook.
Right.
And similarly with this debt forgiveness, if you forgive the debt, then you're just letting the schools off the hook, and then they just keep going on, they just keep charging, and overcharging like crazy.
Yeah, and that's
So
why
yeah,
I
it
I
has to
was
hurt them. And so one of the solutions I propose, I think everyone can agree is just getting government out of it, or at the very least pass a law where the government cannot charge interest on student loans.
yeah, I mean, that'd be a start.
Yeah, because I mean, like how I mean, because how evil is it that you are applying an interest on someone who's who thinks that they're doing the right thing, that who thinks that are someone who thinks that they're preparing for the future, but you're just strapping a stone to their neck, for the foreseeable future. I mean that's all it is. And so like if you take the incentive of and making money off of this, then I think that'd be one of the steps to uh, if not fixing the problem, at least plugging the hole.
Yeah, uh, and unlike how the left wants to treat this, it's a complicated issue. It's
Right.
not
It's not. Yeah. It's not
it's
a
not like we change.
one thing. Fixing one thing is not going to fix everything.
Right, but like I said, there's a lot that needs to be fixed, because there's a lot of cogs to this machine,
Right.
and it's unfortunate how people have been able to pay. They were able to work, pay for their college on their own, and be good to go. And now it's like you have kids that are starting out life with what, $200,000 in debt
Yeah.
right
Like
away
just like
at
like
18.
crippling amounts of debt.
So so clearly something has become very, very corrupt in a very short amount of time.
Mhm. But yeah, I mean this. I mean it's been said for a long time, but the student loan debt, that's the next bubble to burst.
Yeah, that's going to be when that finally does break. Whoo boy, that's going to be a very, very ugly
Yeah, that's
thing.
like that's almost an extinction level event.
Yeah, but that's all I had to say about that. Yeah, because I watched that Owen Benjamin stream about that. I've been kind of listening to what some other people have been talking about. I've been reading up articles on it because it doesn't affect me in the way that like I have student debt. So I mean I don't this I like I said, I don't have a dog in that fight, like where I'm crippled by student debt. So like I am sensitive to what you're saying, and what I know a lot of people are still paying off their school.
Hmm.
Um, but at this, as someone that isn't caught up in, like, I don't have those debts, but it would affect me because I would essentially be paying off those debts if this is end up being a thing that comes to pass at some point.
Hmm.
So it's like I said, it's not there's not going to be an easy solution. Um, you know, it's there's a lot of factors that need to be looked into. Will they be looked into? Probably not. To be honest, I'm very skeptical that anything's ever going to change.
Hmm.
But if something does somehow change in the end, great. But I don't see what that's going to be. Um,
Yeah, I mean, right now because we're so close to it that there's no way we can see like the entire breadth of it. So uh, it's hard to see the whole picture and say like, oh yeah, we need to fix these things, that thing, and this. Because right now we're just. I mean, I know you have no like dog. Again, you have no dog in the fight, but we're as a society we're just too close to the issue right now. But
right.
yeah, I don't know. I think given some time and allowing for some distance and perspective, then I think we can come up with a solution. I just hope it doesn't take 50 years.
Yeah. Um, I mean, the best way that I've been trying to, maybe in some way make an impact against this is at least um, like some of the students that I teach at church who, obviously like college and studying hard, all that stuff is obviously a huge deal. It is for any young person. But when asked like, oh, what are you wanting to study? Like, what do you want to do with your life? And a lot of them is like, I have no idea. It's like, then why are you going to college? It's like, why would you spend this money and just to figure things out? You can figure things out by there's all these other options out there, and you're not spending
Get a
$200,000
job.
that you
Go
don't have.
just go and try and find a job. Yeah, every
And
young
I
person
said,
I
it's like,
see, I tell them, it's like, I ask them, it's like, oh, what do you want? He's like, what do you want to study? He's like, I don't know. It's like, become an electrician, become a stonemason, become a welder. They make six figures.
well, and that's what I tell them. It's like, you don't have to be stuck in this one direction. There's so many directions out there. Do something that either no one else wants to do, or that no one else is doing, because there's a lot of these jobs they cannot fill any of these positions, and they are throwing money at these people, if for people who are talented and have gone through and trained in these occupations. And it's like, if the goal is to uh, yeah, okay, you don't have the prestige of going to Harvard or whatever, but
Whatever.
you
Harvard's
are,
racist.
well, yeah, well, but I'm saying, but the prestige is still there,
Yeah.
where going to these Ivy League schools. But if the goal is to create to to start a family, to get married, start a family, and provide for them, this is a much better route to go.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, obviously, like, I'm dealing with Korean kids, so that makes it a harder sell. But I think that by at least, because me talking about this stuff to them, it completely blew their mind. It's like, you mean there's other options? Like, yeah, there's other options. What? I mean,
Well, yeah, because it's like,
there's the military too. Like, there's so many ways that you can go
right?
and
Yeah,
not start
especially in the
out.
military where you get the GI Bill, so you put in your service, you figure yourself out, and if you decide like, oh yeah, I actually I want to study, I want to go to school to study this specific thing, then yeah, then you have that option, and you don't
And
have to pay, you don't have to take out this ridiculously expensive loan
not
when
only
the
that,
government will give you the money because you served.
not only are you getting money for school, but you're getting paid to learn a trade that you end up going to school for. So it's kind of that I think that's one of the best, one of like the best routes you can go. But I know that's that route isn't for everyone. So
Right.
to but these other, going to a trade school is not the we in this society, it's like, oof, you look down on people. It's like, you went to a trade school, like, what are you, a dummy or something like that? It's like, no, it takes a
Nah,
lot of
bitch.
skill. And
I'm an electrician, and what the fuck? What does everything in your house run on? Electricity. So if you didn't have me, you'd be you wouldn't be able to watch your fucking crappy Netflix comedy special without me.
right, it's like, I mean, elect my dad is a fairly handy guy. There's a lot of things that he's able to build and create, but even he said, it's like, and he's an engineer, and even he said, it's like, when it comes to electricity, fuck that. I don't know a goddamn thing. I'm calling a pro because I don't want to get electrocuted. It's because it's magic pixie dust. There's so many people that have no idea what the hell is going on with electricity.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
And
my uncle's an electrician, and he's had job security for as long as I've known it. Like as long as I've been alive, he's been at the same job. Like
yeah,
I remember actually going to his work, because he works for like some company, and like they do like some sort of electrical, like they I don't know, they make some sort of electrical equipment or whatever. But he's an electrician, and so so as long as I've been alive, my uncle has had the same job, and if that's job security, you know,
yeah.
and
I think,
and more valuable than gold is job security.
right. I think if I could do things over again, I may have gone down, or maybe gone down that road, doing something more like, like being an electrician. Um, but unfortunately, I came to a lot of this knowledge much later on. So, but I found a way to kind of put together what I think is putting me on a road to it. Because obviously, my goal is, I want to get married, have a family, and provide for them. Um, Hopefully, give my future kids something better than provide them with a life that gives them opportunity to do something better than me.
Hmm.
Um, and but I think I'm putting myself in that position to do that. Um, but yeah, well, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I kind of wish the knowledge that I have now I had 15 years ago.
Same.
I would
I
have
mean,
made
it's funny because like
and
yeah, because as hard as my dad works, he would always tell me like use your brain, not your back. And but it's funny on certain levels. I think my dad, I've actually gotten, I've actually taken a step back from where my dad was. Um, not to say, but not to say that I'm like an idiot or anything, but I just, my father who had worked for, for all, all of his life, and even when even when I was growing up, he worked really hard and he provided for his family. Um, but we never really knew want. We weren't balling, but we never knew want.
right,
We always
and
had
same
just
here.
enough. Um, yeah, and one of the biggest realization was like when I turned the age that my dad was when I was born,
Hmm.
just kind of taking stock of my life, and it's like damn, I'm kind of a loser.
Right. It's I don't see you as a loser, Andy. I it's kind of tough because I think a lot of my issues come from is I'm a really stubborn guy, and
Hmm.
I'm kind of like I'm somewhat of a contrarian, so I tend to like, okay, everyone else is going this direction. It's too crowded. Let me see if I can find a different way. And I started going down a direction that I thought was it's still something I would like to do, but the direction that the world is going in, I have to find a different way to do that. And I think eventually I will get there in some capacity. Whether or not I make money off of it, I have no idea. So I feel like the job that I have, while I do enjoy it, it's more of a means to help raise a family. Um, and where the thing that I really want to do is more of like kind of like a side hobby that my whatever extra funds I do have um, go to doing that, and I'm okay with that because I still feel like I'm fulfilling my call from God, uh, yet adding on the raising a family and teaching them about God and all those type of things as well. So I don't know. I don't because I don't see us as I don't see you as a loser, Andy. You're a very talented guy. You're a smart guy. Um, sure, things may have not worked as you had hoped or had planned, but that happens to everybody.
Right. Well, I know all this, but I just meant more like I'm a loser in comparison to my father.
I see. Okay.
Yeah,
I would say
not like I'm an abject loser, but in comparison to my father, yeah, I'm kind of a loser.
I would say the same thing. Yeah. To me, my dad, while we disagree on a lot of things,
Uh huh.
I think he will always be a lot smarter than me in a lot of ways. It's funny. I find like the one thing I've noticed as I've gotten older, and I talk to my dad, is we're kind of the same person, but we apply it in different ways. and
Right.
so it makes us kind of not agree on a lot of stuff. It's really weird. So it's
No,
like
I get
I
it.
feel
Yeah.
very I feel very connected to him, yet at the same time, like we are like complete like opposites.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I feel exactly the same way because my dad is someone who likes things done in a particular way, his way, and I'm like that too. I have some like when I set up the equipment for like the podcast and stuff, I have to have it a certain way, and but I think the way I'm better than my dad is I will teach the way to like I taught you how to set up the mics and stuff like that. And that's my way of still having it done my way, but it's just done by you.
Right.
I think that's one of the things that my dad has to learn. It's like because like it took a long time for my dad to teach me like how to like make like the rig for like a fishing line. Because like I don't know, because one, my dad is my dad, and so he wants to make things easy on me. But the other is because my dad likes to have things done in a particular way. So I tell him, it's like, hey, Dad, if you teach me how to do it, it's still being done your way. I'm just doing it. And so once he was like once he had once I explained it to him that way, it's like, oh yeah, okay, then they taught me how to make a put prepare a fishing line like his way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's life is weird that way. I,
Yeah, I'm sure when we have sons, they'll despise us for something, and then when they get older, they'll realize that they're just like us.
yeah, that's probably true.
uh, all right, we are coming up on an hour and a half, which is if you don't include the little gap, the technical difficulties that we had, but that still puts us within our usual time. So I think we should call it for tonight.
All right, and some of the other stuff that that we were going to talk about, we can just save that for next time.
Yeah, because I'm sure because like especially with the Jesse Smollett thing, that's going to be continually developing because that just
Same
kind
with
of
the
broke, and I still have to watch like the full video of because I saw like the first like few seconds of like when the cops came in and like he still had the freaking noose around his neck.
it was ridiculous. I couldn't
And the
believe
cops
it.
like,
Like,
oh, you want to take that off? Like, oh yeah, man, I'll take it off. Oh my god.
oh my goodness,
Jeez.
you read about that stuff, but when you actually see it and it was real, it's like this is we do live in clown world. This is
Yeah, this is
oh my god.
surely this is the upside down. Surely this is clown world. Yeah, but in the very depths of my heart, I hope he gets the book thrown at him.
I hope so too.
Yeah, but yeah,
Because there's
when
still like they still have there's still a federal case against him for all the mail fraud and mail tampering and stuff.
well, like still alleged, but yes, the mail fraud.
He did it. I'm
I
sorry.
know, I know.
I
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing the alleged out there to cover our butts.
true.
Yeah, it's
Alleged
the
alleged.
alleged mail fraud that he absolutely did. Yeah, but yeah, well, yeah, I guess yeah, we'll just sit on that one for a little bit, allow that to develop a little bit more because
Same
yeah,
with
that's
another hoax story that came up too this past week. So
there was.
Well, I see it as possibly a hoax. With this lady from for what magazine that is claiming she was raped by Trump.
Oh, right. Yeah, that bitch is a loon.
But like I said, that'll be there next week too.
Right. Yeah, and she'll probably come out with another with some other story or some other
Yeah.
accusation. So yeah. All right, that'll do it for us tonight. Thank you for sticking it out with us, even with all the technical difficulties. Don't forget to come join us again next week, same time, same channel. Don't forget to check out the library of other shows, the Circle of Jerks podcast, Nocturnal Transmissions, and Up by Up Down. Don't forget to follow us on our various social media accounts for behind the scenes and updates. Our Twitter is at podcastcoj, and Instagram is at Circle of Jerks podcast. And for okay, now do it for us tonight. For Robert and myself, we'll say goodnight, and we'll see you next time. And don't do anything I would.